The end of my day just don't feel right. Whenever you're gone for a while out of my sight, my tummy starts tossing and turning around.
Welcome, my beautiful people. I am Ricky, and this is my beautiful wife, Valerie Hughes.
And we're the Rocks, and we are bringing you an episode of Beyond I Do, presented by Dear Fathers. And we have some very special guests, your favorite couple, Hope and Kadero Watson. What up, y'all?
Good afternoon. Appreciate you guys having us.
Y'all look good.
Thank you. You know, we try. You know, in quarantine, you don't get dressed much, so.
I know. So this was a big deal.
What's the opportunity for that? So we appreciate you guys joining us. Can you give us a little bit about yourself? Tell the people about yourselves real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kadero Watson, my beautiful wife.
Oh,
Hope. We've been married for 11 years, originally from Richmond, Virginia. And I worked in college athletics here in the Chicago area. And together we have an Instagram page that's kind of, I would say, taking the area by storm a little bit every day with HK. It's just us having fun, man. We promoting love, laughs, and inspiration. What we do, just trying to present God's love through our marriage. So that's all we can do. Just try to make an impact on this world, make people smile and laugh and have a good time. And it's tough times right now for everybody, and we just want to put smiles on people's faces.
We appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I wanted to share a quick toast to 11 wonderful years. And
absolutely.
Rex. This is Rex Whiskey, a black-owned whiskey, and it is delicioso.
Love it.
Delicioso.
All right.
You
want to jump into it?
Yes. Without further ado, drum roll.
Sitting down, we want y'all to hit us with your favorite TikTok move. It could be a 1-2 step, whatever.
Get them. They got to freestyle it.
Y'all do whatever you want to do.
Freestyle a TikTok move? Okay. No, but we're gonna freestyle it. That's what they said too. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh.
That's all we got, guys. That's all we got.
That's why, to me, you guys are the TikTok kings and the queen.
Amen.
Okay?
Say that.
That's hilarious.
All right. So next we have 3 questions, right? 10 seconds before you move to the next question, you have to agree. Okay?
Ooh.
So 3 questions, 10 seconds before you move on, you got to agree. Okay? Easier than it sounds. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Question 1. Who takes the longest in the shower?
In the shower though, Kadero will sit under the water for like 10 minutes first before he starts.
I do like a pre-soak first before I even get the body wash. Yeah. That's true.
In the bathroom, but in the shower, I think it's
good.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the messiest?
Ooh. What type of mess we're talking about?
What type of mess we talking about?
I mean, because I do like to keep a clean house.
That's true.
But
you will leave stuff open or out. Like after cooking, the seasonings and stuff will be sitting out in the couch.
Well, see, normally that's because you just naturally clean up after I cook. That's kind of how it's going around here.
That's the way to work.
Yeah, teamwork. So, okay, I'll own it.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to break the tie with who is the funniest. Ooh. And I ain't trying to start no trouble up in the house now. I ain't trying to start no trouble.
I think Kadero.
Oh.
Okay. I am actually like a low-key funny, but he's like dramatically funny. So he's probably like over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably funny.
I can see that. Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Y'all did good.
And we'll just say a tie for the sake of the Hope and Kadero Watson.
Oh, good.
Yeah, totally fine.
Same team, no matter what, right?
All right, we're going to dig a little deeper. So tell us one thing you wish someone would have told you prior to getting married about, let me re-ask that. Hold on. Let me rephrase that one. Tell us one thing you wish someone would have told you about marriage prior to saying I do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I want both y'all answers.
Okay.
Okay. I would probably say to always remember that we are on the same team. Like a lot of times I think like people, and a lot of times it's not like what people say, but how they demonstrate a marriage that I kind of observe like behaviors and things like that. And I think like within the marriages that I've seen growing up, like you kind of see them like kind of walk away or not finish things or come to like a resolution. And it's kind of like, this is me and my situation and you and your situation. And it's like, sometimes we attack each other versus attacking the issue. So like if somebody were to tell us, you know, guys, remember you're on the same team no matter what. Like don't combat each other, but combat the issue would probably be what I would have loved to hear.
Something you kind of learn over the years.
Yeah.
Like as you go through year after year, okay, am I attacking her or am I attacking the root of the issue that we're having here? So
I'm taking notes. Just
for me, I would say that I would, especially as a man, I would have to put my pride aside. Mm-hmm. And I think that comes a lot when even like almost that us versus me versus her, and it's always against the issues. Like we're going to disagree, but now never allow myself to get offended by her opinion and seek to understand where she's coming from and seek to put myself aside. Like this marriage thing is a selfless act of love when you're constantly, when you're in a marriage. So putting my pride to the side and taking off that manhood, you know, we as men, we grow up not to show feelings, not to be vulnerable, those type of things, like, and have that pride of I'm a man. Well, sometimes you have to put that in the marriage, you got to put that to the side because that woman should be your best friend and you should be able to talk to her about anything.
Don't y'all feel so gangster when
that was it.
Don't y'all feel so gangster when you do attack an issue together? Like it's the best feeling when you teamwork something and y'all like against the same enemy. That is amazing.
And then you're not going around in circles because when you're attacking each other, you have the argument lasts like so much longer than it needs to be.
Exactly.
And if we attacked it, we'd have been done loving on each other and on to the next thing.
Right. I mean, it's forever because you gotta eventually be back here, so you might as well just get together. Otherwise, you're gonna save yourself. You're gonna put yourself through a lot more extra stuff than you need to be going through.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. So the name of your show is Every Day with H and K, right? Mm-hmm. What is something that you all have to do every day? You know, I'm from St. Louis. So I'm gonna say every day. All right. What's something that you all have to do every day?
Oh, this one was easy for me. We got to pray. Like seriously, it sounds so. Here we go. Like it sounds so cliche, but in our marriage, like we have to come together. Like I think, well, we both have our own individual spiritual relationship with God, but coming together is just totally different. It's like you said, like you come together, and it's just that much more powerful. But we have to get through it, and sometimes to deal with him, like I need a special prayer, or he may need a special prayer for me. So it's like prayer, honestly, has gotten us through.
Yeah, and we make it a priority in our marriage just to make sure we spend time with God together. Either if that's at night before we go to bed, if that's in the morning, saying a quick prayer. It helps us get through the day. We talk about even in our prayer, like God convict us in our tone with each other and our communication, that we both seek understanding. Because it would be amazing if we just talking and I say it in a unique tone and she's like,
well, and I think that comes from too, like being comfortable with each other. Like us being friends for 20 years together, married for 11. It's like, okay, he's going to love me no matter what. So I can just say how I feel any type of way. But it's like, no, Hope, you need to be tactful. He's still a person. He still has feelings. So it's like not getting comfortable, but reminding ourselves, okay, you can't be too relaxed when you're saying certain things because it may be offensive or they can get offended easily.
That's a word.
Prayer. So has it been different? I don't know if you guys go to church or not, but has it been different through the pandemic and your overall relationship, not being able to go to church?
It's definitely been different. Like our church is like we're doing online services, which has been nice. But that it's so much easier. I'm finding it so much easier that when we could go to church and I'm like, all right, 10 o'clock service, we get up, we put our clothes on, we go. Now it's like, all right, church service online starts at 10. I wake up at 9:55, turn on YouTube, they're gonna live. Like, you don't get into it as much, especially with praise and worship time. It's like I can just sit in bed where if I'm there, I'm actually getting into it. So that's tough. That part has been tough, but it's like we have to make sure we find those moments. And we keep each other accountable. Like she'll ask me, you spend some time. Yeah, she's asking me, spend some time together with God, because it's amazing when you don't. How much that affects you, and then how it affects your relationship. Like when them times where I'm grumpy or just feeling a certain type, irritable. She'll question, like, have you spent some time with God? Like, have you been in your prayer time to kind of release all that? And sure enough, when I haven't, that's the times I'm most irritable.
So y'all mentioned y'all have known each other for 20 years. You guys knew of each other in middle school, and then you officially met in high school theater class of all places. I think that is so dope and so tight. It makes sense. That's what we talk about, like when God is in the plan, or God creates the plan rather, because that comes full circle with y'all. Like, did y'all ever think? First, I want to know a little bit more about the high school theater class. Did y'all ever act together or anything?
We did actually.
We're no TikTok. I know we're no TikTok, but what was it?
No, we did actually. We had a play that we were doing.
It was like we had to do like short skits.
Yeah, like a short skit, and I was a singer, like as a waitress, like trying to make it big time. And Kadero was my manager.
I was a producer. I was a music producer.
He was trying to get me signed, and so it was like we had that little skit moment with each other. But I love what you said, because I've never even thought about it that way. That it just kind of comes full circle of where we met.
And that story, of course, has each side to it. When it comes
the right side's over here.
Yeah.
So,
like,
what's your side?
We of each other, didn't really talk. I was a freshman, she was a sophomore, and we had theater class. And it was a Thursday night, Thursday when we had to do like introductions. And I had my football jersey on. She had her cheerleading outfit on. Yeah. And we had to go around the room and say hello to everybody. And that's when I caught her eye.
That's because he was so overly dramatic. It was just like, who is this guy? Like, what is wrong with him? What?
But it's funny. Our relationship has been so unique in high school because, like, we knew of each other. She always goes to this story of her and her friend asking me and this random guy to take them to the state fair.
Yep.
And I never gave her an answer.
I
never said yes or no. I just was like, whatever. I don't know you.
He ignored it.
To the point where there was this stalker that she had that I ended up like making sure he wasn't around, and I took her to homecoming. I ended up getting in a fight with this guy.
The stalker?
Before first period. I got suspended for 3 days for her. We probably dated after homecoming. We dated for about a month. Then this is where the story takes a turn.
Because
I was broken up with because she wanted to date another fella.
Guys, he broke up with me because he wanted to date another girl. That is what happened.
So he said, she said there. We didn't talk for about a year. Like, I went on my way, she went her way. And what brought us back together was her friend and my friend wanted to get together for one of the dances, I think the homecoming prom. And we started talking to hook them up. Yeah. So that's how we started like talking again and just building our friendship. Yeah. She graduated from high school. I was still in 12th grade. Going into it, I got a phone call randomly. And it was her. It was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, who's that? Hope. I was like, oh, what's up?
I was bored. I didn't know what I wanted to do that day. So I was like, let me just call
She asked me to go to lunch at TGI Fridays. And we went to lunch. And we was hanging out ever since, man. So dated all through college. And that was long distance because I went to school in Pennsylvania. And she went straight to work, and she was in Richmond. So we dated all through college, and then after I kind of knew, like, when in school, I knew like I found my lady. Like, this girl's been with me for a long time. I didn't want to. I'm already being a knucklehead in school and college, doing college stuff, and she and she still by my side through it all. And so I was like, I know. So going into my senior year of college, I proposed right before going back to school. We got married a month after I graduated and moved to Oklahoma a week after we got married. So like life took off. She had never lived outside of Virginia at the time.
Never been away at all.
It was
so like I was the first, I think, family member to ever like get up and leave. Because we were all just around the same area. So it was like, what? Hope's moving? What? Yeah. To Oklahoma? Where's that at? Like, and that's what I was like, Oklahoma? Like, what kind of place are you taking me? Yeah.
And I was a graduate assistant, so I was making $1,000 a month. And we made it work. Like, and that was one of those, I think when people talk about newlyweds ask us what's the first thing, it was like, for us, it was like knowing that it's about you two at this point. After that marriage, after you say I do, it's about the two of you making this marriage work. And for us, it was so key because we now are 22 hours away from family. We can't be just calling up mom and be like, yo, he acting out or she acting out.
I need to come over and spend the night.
It's time to talk to each other, and we are all we got.
Yeah.
It's literally me and you against
me,
the world.
You, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Exactly.
That's all we
have. We're in the middle of nowhere right now trying to make life work. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Wow. That story, the journey is just awesome. You know what I'm saying? Even just talk about the high school with the stalker and a bully. Like I feel like I'm gonna say this for me. One day, can you guys kind of recreate that in fashion? Yeah. Even if you recreate the skit that y'all first did, I think that would be.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I do remember that. That would be hilarious.
She was singing Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. Not gonna cry.
Oh my God.
Don't cry. Okay, here we go. All right. So your audience Instagram had just reached 25K and counting. I actually checked today, is like I said, it's counting, right? Mm-hmm. What do you attribute your success to?
I would say honestly consistency. Like, and a lot of people say that in our comments, it's like you guys consistently give me something to laugh at every day. And it's gotten to the point actually where like we normally try to post around between 11:30, and it was like 11:32 and we got a DM, where's y'all's post? Like, I need your post. And we were like, holy crap, like people are actually really looking for these posts. So I was like, okay, we gotta do this. Yeah. So I think honestly just consistency and being authentically ourselves, like just.
And at the end of the day, building that community. Like we now have a community of folks that love to see us and love what we're doing, and we want to make sure we're just feeding them, pouring back into them, and just being who we are. Yeah, that's all you say.
I have a question about that. So you said consistency. Would that be, or do you have additional advice for any couples trying to build their brand on social media? Like, what would be like your best advice that you would give them?
Yeah.
I would probably say just that, like the consistency piece, because we've had some people who's reached out and like, you guys are just like taking off, and we honestly don't know how. Like we don't really know like what we did. All we know is that we're consistently posting once a day, and I would say just being true, because people can sift through fakeness, phoniness, like the fakeness, and that's just not who we are. So we're like, okay, we're just going to give them ourselves, and some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, but that's just kind of.
We always have now this list that we give people when they do ask, and it's like, one is like, find your niche. What is that area you want to talk about or do? Our niche was the TikTok stuff, so that was what we were going to do. 2, be consistent. We knew we were going to post every day, usually around 11:30. We're going to be out there. And then 3 was engage with everybody. So we take the first 30 minutes and we try to answer everybody's posts and comments, and even if it's just emojis that we're laughing back with them. And people, especially as we've grown and they see that we're still doing it, they're like, wow, they like, and it makes us, it's crazy because it makes us feel like we're the famous ones, and we're like, what? We're just regular people. Seriously. We sitting here, I'm sitting here in my drawers watching TV like the American experts, and like, like I'm just chilling, but we just take time. And that's also been an adjustment just in our relationship of working together of making sure we get off the phone sometimes to spend that time with each other, but then making sure we still have the time where we are engaging with our followers.
I think that was I'm glad you hit on that because you touched on the importance of maybe like balancing social media in your regular life and when to unplug. Do you have like a set strategic like plan as far as like, do you like unplug during these certain hours? You know, just to kind of keep the balance so you're not completely engulfed because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it can.
You know, so is there any like thing you do like make sure you do?
Yeah, so one will do like that dinner time, like from dinner time when we're gonna eat dinner and maybe watch a movie together. That's that time where we're like, all right, phone's away. I'm not doing it. We always make sure that 30 minutes after we post, we are on it. And then I'm at work most of the day, so I'm working and I'll maybe helping her with some stuff that she's doing. That's usually time where she can get a lot of editing stuff because I'm doing my normal day-to-day work. Right. And then once it's done, it's like, okay, let's have some me and you time to reconnect after work because we've both been doing stuff. Then we may get back on it to look at whatever's happened and figure out next stuff and then off of it again when it comes to dinner.
And sometimes I think it's important to be like in tune with your spouse too. Because I know like there's sometimes that like we both feel it, but we're still just on our phone. And it's like, okay, acknowledging what you're feeling on the inside, like, okay, guys, no, we need to turn it off. Like we've been on this way too long. So I think just being like having that discerning spirit or like kind of knowing, okay, this person, I can kind of feel that they're waiting for me to get off the phone. So let me just put down the phone, like acknowledging that within yourself. I think
that's great.
That's good. So can you start to feel?
I actually hope I'm with you. I do feel it, but I do be ignoring it. Like,
yeah.
I feel it. I try not to be judgmental because, like, we'll both be on our phone, and then I'll put mine down, and I'm like, "You're still on your phone."
Right. That's exactly how it happens.
Yeah. It's like you just put down your phone, and now you're getting on me. Like,
and then we really beef because I'm like, "Hold up."
Yeah. Right.
And then it goes back to not attacking the issue. Now you attack each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just feel it next time.
You too.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a favorite episode that y'all either shot or even just to watch it? Do y'all have a favorite TikTok or YouTube, whichever one y'all want to take? Do y'all have a favorite?
Yeah, she has her favorite. I know for sure.
What, YouTube or
no,
TikTok?
The TikTok.
Okay. It is my favorite. I feel like it didn't get as much play, but I'm still rocking with it hard. I love the Maury episode that we shot about the paternity test. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but it was just so much fun because to me, it took me back to like my childhood, like coming home from school, like Maury was on. It was always a paternity test. Like that's what his whole show is about. So like it just took me back. And then like to see.
And we got super creative because I like took a shoebox and a cup to make the camera and like a piece of tape. So if you see it, it's like me with this box and it's like piece that looks like the camera. Yeah. And then the test comes out, he's not the father. She goes take off running outside and I'm like, so you get the whole like so true.
And then his dance moves, like when he found out he wasn't the father. And the comedic part for me was like the child looks just like him. Like it wasn't there. So I'm like, to me, it was hilarious. It just brought back memories, and I had a fun time filming.
For me, there was one that it's I'm in the kitchen, and I'm whipping, in this chicken, hey, like that one, my joy, because I had she was actually cooking, and we was like, oh, let's do this TikTok with it, and so she's actually making the chicken. And I took the flour, and when he put seasoning in the chicken, I like to throw the flour in the air.
And some of that was unexpected, so I'm like, my kitchen. Like, we just really put flour everywhere.
I just had a good time with that one. It was just like, that dramatic self of me.
Yeah.
I like the balance between the YouTube and the Instagram. Like how y'all said the YouTube is like a deeper dive into questions and like just the more like, good balance, like more in-depth things about marriage. I've been married for 11 years, so y'all have a lot of wisdom. Yeah. So let's talk about the pleasure. Y'all had an episode that y'all just dropped, explaining how y'all keep it hot and spicy. Do I got the
spicy?
Right? Yep, that's right.
But tell us how y'all do it in y'all marriage, 11 years. How do y'all just keep it sexy?
Yeah. I think for me, it's all about freshness and like newness. So like, you can always get stuck in your ways, right? But it's like, let's do something we haven't done before. Let's just try something new, or go somewhere new, or get a new toy. So I don't know, you know, but it's like just trying something new. It's like, it's not the same thing every single day, because you can just get like bored. For some people it works, but for me it's like, like for me it doesn't work. I can't do the same thing every single day. So it's like, I need just something different, a different experience. So that's to me how you can keep it like fresh. Now, spicy, how would you say you keep it spicy, sir?
Spicy, I think it's all about, for me, with Hope, it's a lot of listening to her love language. And for Hope, luckily, her love language is physical touch. So that's like, all right, making sure my hands are on her and making sure she knows she feels love. So she walking by and I hit on her butt while she walks by. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Like that, those moments, and then realizing again the selfless act in it all, and like, especially for women, it's not gonna happen like that.
Right.
So foreplay is not a 10-minute act before. It's that it could be a couple of days before. It could be a couple of hey beautiful texts with a nice touch when you get home to bring it home. It could be whatever that you know she likes that makes her feel special. Because I'm a big believer that women take what men dish out, they nurture it, and then they send it back. It's almost like a woman having a baby. A man gives the seed, she nurtures in her body, she gives back a baby. Yeah. For anything. If I'm giving her attitude, most likely she's going to take that attitude, she's going to
serve it right,
and then she's going to serve it back. If I'm giving her that love, the foreplay, that specialness, she's going to take that and she's going to give back that love that men want, because end of the day, we are visual and we love sex. It is what it is. So if we're giving that love, they're gonna nurture that thing and they're gonna give it right back. So it's just making sure we are listening and paying attention and being spontaneous.
Yeah.
I think we said something about those with the kids, maybe having set that long.
Yeah, I got. You know what? I got that. I actually have a bowl of grapes and oil. I appreciate you, baby. Hope you like grapes.
I do.
All right.
Yeah, I've even heard some people say they put Vaseline on the doorknob so the kids can't really turn the door. Like, why is the door not opening? It's Vaseline down.
We're ready. Like, we don't have kids, but we are ready for those moments when
like we can put Vaseline
on try our best.
Yeah.
Vaseline on deck.
That's dope. That's hilarious.
Right. Okay. So you are 11 years beyond I Do, right? And I want to say congratulations again. I just think young black couple, 11 years is so inspiring, and I'm just so inspired by that. What is one gem that you would give the people that had kept you guys rocking all these years? What's one gem? Say it's like your Instagram post caption. What's that gem that you could just like, put into the atmosphere to let other young couples, either single or married or dating or inspired to be married, what they can do to keep it rocking for at least 11 plus?
Yeah.
I would say for me, I'm a big component of saying be a student of your spouse. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is always be learning. If you get to the point where you think you're an expert of who your spouse is, you've been lost. You've lost it. And you're always a student, always being engaged, watching them from afar, seeing what they like, what they dislike, seeing what their needs are. Everything happens. You weren't the same person you were a year ago. Right. So we should always be making sure we relearn each other. What's your likes? We sometimes, our anniversary all the time is like, all right, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? Simple things like that. Because it changes. And just it's a relearning, dating her again, and pursuing her again in those aspects. Like when you constantly showing that pursuit, even after 5 and 10 years, like it makes life so much fun. And you can have fun with one another because you're staying on being a student of who that person is. You constantly are watching them, constantly kind of just making sure you are doing what you need to do to make sure they feel good.
And I would say for me, it sounds cliche once again, but over communicate. Like communication, guys, it is so key. Like, and I think effectively communicating actually is what I would like to say, because you can communicate all day long, but if it's not effective, you're not growing through it. So it's like, me and Kadero always say, like, what do you say? Communicate with that person and knowing how to communicate with them in their different seasons. Like when they're sad, when they're happy, when they're angry. Like, how does that person respond, or what's their trigger words, or like just knowing your spouse in every area of their life and knowing how to communicate with who that person is at that moment in that season, I think is so key. And just, it leaves no error. It leaves no room for error, because if I'm honestly telling him how I feel, he doesn't need to assume anything. He doesn't need to try to figure me out, like, because I'm telling him blatantly what I need, when I need it, how I need it, and he's doing the same thing for me. So there's no confusion. Everything's just black and white, because we're just honest.
Assumptions can kill a relationship, man. Yeah. And it's being like not being open with each other, and so we're each assuming. Oh, they probably feel this way, so I'm not gonna go there.
And I probably don't even feel that way, but he's assuming that I do. But it's like just telling that person how you feel and not being afraid to tell that person how you feel, and the other person allowing the space for you to tell them how you feel without thinking there's gonna be repercussions, or like, oh, if I say this, they might get a certain type of way. So like allowing that space just for open communication.
I love that.
This is Jimmy Jim.
Well, I love the similarities between our answer, because I feel like when you're a student, you are allowing your spouse the space to constantly change and redefine themselves and decide for themselves who they are and who they want to be. And I just feel like that's such a healthy place to be, to allow your spouse freedom to be themselves. Like,
I want to say I want to thank you, Kadero, because I think I know I wrote that down, being a student of your spouse, but that's some wisdom I've never really heard before. And it's inspiring for you all to be married for 11 years and still aware of being a student. Right. You imagine, like, if I've been in school studying business for 11 years, you'd be like, I already know all this. I'm just going to go to class and just stare at the teacher because I already know everything.
Right.
There's always something to be learned. I want to ask you one quick question. Where did you get that wisdom from? Was that something passed down from maybe an elder, or you just are that guy?
You know what? I would say not from an elder. I do say this. I always credit my father. I always credit my father for teaching me what not to do more than anything. And of course the things to do, because he is a great man. But me and him have had those conversations, and our relationship has gone from the best to the worst to the best. Like, but I always say, man, you have taught me everything I should and should not do in a marriage. Right. So a lot of this of what I've learned is just teaching myself through listening. Like, I love listening to pastors talk about marriage. I love reading books. I finished up Relationship Goals. Michael Todd wrote. Dr. Darius Daniels wrote a book called Relational Intelligence. Things like that is just constantly, being a lifelong learner. And even through those books and relationship books, you hear things and you pick up on it. And I think that was one. I don't even remember who it was. It was years ago, but they were talking about just that. Like, we in grade school, we go second, we graduate here. Now we're in high school, graduate here. Now we got a bachelor's, graduate master's, and then you become a doctor. Well, once you're a doctor, you think you're the stuff. Well, you should never become a doctor of your spouse. You should always stay a student of your spouse, because they're going to always change, and you should always be learning them. So, I think it's one of the things I've heard and just read,
kind of develop
and try to make sure I'm doing it, because it's easy. There's so many distractions in this world. It's easy to stop doing it as well. So I'm always trying to reassess myself and make sure I'm doing the right things.
That's dope. So fill in this sentence with a collective goal, okay? Beyond I do, we will blank.
Continue to display God's love through our marriage.
Boom.
Amen.
That's it.
Man. Hey, y'all shining though. Y'all are doing it. Like, all the answers to y'all questions, like, I could just feel the love between y'all and the partnership, and Y'all are beautiful. Y'all are.
Thank you.
All right. So let everybody know how they can keep in contact and keep engaged with you all via social media or what other platforms that you have.
Yeah. So our big one is Instagram. It's at Everyday with HK. You can also follow us on YouTube. Subscribe there, Everyday with H&K. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. So all the major social media platforms you can find us in. So.
Well, we wish y'all so much
Yeah,
continued success. We hope that we keep being able to laugh at y'all because you are hilarious.
I'm also look. This is my notes. Okay. Attack the issue. Right. Prayer. I said quick prayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Pride aside. Amen.
Yeah.
Newness.
And toys.
I got a exclamation mark. It's toys. Gasoline on the doors. But I think the most important for me was be a student of your spouse. And that's something I would really try to implement more in my marriage. Because I want to really thank you for that. And I have a star by that. Being a student of your spouse. Mama, I do.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man.
We appreciate y'all. I know our Beyond family appreciate y'all. So thank you so much for this episode of Beyond I Do.
And I'm sure we will continue to engage with you guys in the future. Yeah. I consider you all friends at this point, man. I really appreciate y'all. And I'm Ricky, this is Valerie, and this is Beyond I Do. We outside.
Please feel free to get comfortable. Go ahead, sit back. You have any requests? Cause if you don't, then I do. Can you point your toes and arch your back?